Welcome to your Monday Morning Pearl. I'm Steve Keck. Got a confession today. I was talking to a friend this week and I was discussing a state of a relationship that really wasn't working very well. But I had just stated casually that, well, I'm over worrying about whether this relationship is going to improve or not. So I'm generally over it. And fortunately, my friend was wise and said, "You're not over it. You're just surrendered. You haven't made any change." And it hit me hard. And it brought to mind something I think is really important that we should talk about when it comes to working with sales teams. And that's this: complacency equals complicity. And what I mean is this: if you're a salesperson and your boss is not living up to a potential standard that is expected within the company, they're either toxic or inefficient or unwilling to hold people accountable, and it is creating an uneven work environment. When you become complacent, you become complicit to the behavior. If you're a sales leader who sees some toxic behavior or sees some inefficient behavior from your sales team and you don't address it, your complacency equals complicity by acknowledging that that behavior is the cultural norm and acceptable within this organization. Now, I understand that in some situations you may not have the authority, capacity, or generally the need to get involved in this behavior, but over the long term, you're going to have to address it, either in how you have to say, yes, this is how we behave. Yes, this is what we believe. Yes, this is what you're going to experience, versus this is what I believe you can experience. I'm not trying to say that it is in your best interest to address it head on, right away, all up front, and make sure everybody understands, because if you've ever been in a toxic environment, bringing it to light sometimes makes it worse. There is an element of understanding that at some point, though, it will have to be addressed. You're going to have to conform, you're going to have to exit, or you're going to have to generally infuse positive change back into the organization. And the cool part is you can do that at every level. If you're being complacent, you are giving an open door to the negative forces that are going to seep in and change the culture of your organization. And if you have a lot of pride in the work that you're doing, it's going to impact you at some point in the future. How do you combat complacency? First, never give up on what you think is possible for you and your organization. Second, find yourself some allies. There are plenty of people within your organization who don't want to give up, but they do tend to feel bad about what's happening, and they want to push back against it, but they don't know how. And third, bring unrelenting enthusiasm. When you bring extraordinary and consistent positive energy into your meetings and into your relationships and into your sales, it's going to start creating a contagion. And this positive contagion starts to present the negative contagion as a lot more exposed. And by doing that, you bring it to the light, and it sometimes gets addressed by those around you because they're like, why can't they be as positive as you are? You will find that when you get allies and you bring relentless enthusiasm to the organization, there's no rule against that. And you'll find that it makes it very difficult for people to try to bring you down. There's no one who's going to stand in your way except those who are going to expose themselves to be toxic. So this week, I want you to think about where you've become complacent. I became complacent in this relationship, and thus I became complicit in the negative experience that I was having. And I was just resigned to this is just the way it's going to be. Don't do that. Look for where you become complacent and take charge. And as always, if you need some guidance on how to bring relentless enthusiasm into your organization, reach out to us. We love helping you become champions of your organization. You can find us on our website or one of our social channels.